Alright, hi guys. So welcome to this lesson on the impulse pullback swing trading system. So this strategy seeks to buy stocks that have pulled back just after starting a new uptrend and going short on stocks that have just pulled back after starting a new downtrend. So the idea is to identify the beginning of a new short-term impulsive trend, wait for a pullback, and then place an entry order to catch the continuation of the trend. So remember that prices don't move in straight lines, right? So what happens is that you always have a impulse wave like so, in this case on an uptrend, and you always have some kind of a retracement or pullback because of some profit taking once a new uptrend is formed. So we want to enter the trade just as the price continues its next impulse wave in the direction of the trend, in this case over here. In the case of a downtrend, we're waiting for a signal to signal that it's a new downtrend. So again, we have that impulsive wave. We wait for a minor pullback or retracement because of, again, some profit taking of those who have shorted and who are covering their short. And we then enter the trade as the price continues the downtrend and we go short. All right, so how do we identify the beginning of a new short-term uptrend, a new impulsive wave? So there are two signals we can use. The first would be a moving average crossover signal. We will use the 6 and 18 exponential moving average to signal the start of a new uptrend. Since we are capturing a very short-term trend, we use very short-term moving averages, the 6 and the 18. Or we could also use the MACD to signal the start of a new uptrend. And we're going to use the MACD with settings 12, 26, and 9. All right. So for long entries, we are looking for a new uptrend signal either by the 6 EMA crossing above the 18 EMA and the MACD showing a bullish histogram, or the MACD crossing bullish. If you don't use a histogram, you just want the MACD line to cross above the signal line. Okay, so either one of these signals would indicate the start of a new uptrend. So the moment you've got a new uptrend, we don't enter yet. Not just yet. We want to see an immediate corrective pullback after the uptrend has begun. The candle immediately after the indicator signal is known as the swing high candle. And the next candle after the swing high candle must make a lower high for it to be a valid pullback. All right. So refer to the chart on the left. So for the chart on the left, you can see that the 6 EMA, which is the red dotted line, has crossed above the 18 EMA. So that is a bullish signal from the 6 EMA crossing above 18. That's a signal of a new uptrend. Now, the moment we see that cross, right at or after the cross, the candle that appears must be the swing high candle. Okay, I repeat. Right at that cross of the 618 or right after cross, we must have a swing high candle. Now, what makes a swing high candle? Well, it must be the highest high. So in other words, this has to be a higher high than all previous candles to make it a swing high. Now, immediately right after the swing high, we need to see a pullback candle. Okay, so a pullback candle must make a lower high than the swing high. All right, so this makes a lower high than this, hence it's a pullback. All right, it's because of profit taking that it pulls back. Now, what if the next candle makes a higher high? Well, then the trade is invalid. It is not a valid trade. Why? Because the swing high must come right at or right after that bullish signal cross. If the swing high comes 1 or 2 candles later, it's not a valid trade for the impulse pullback. Okay, so it has got to be the swing high right at the cross, and immediately right after the swing high, we need to have the next candle making a lower high. Now, if it makes a lower high and lower low, it's a pullback candle, pulls back, right? But if it makes a lower high, but not a lower low, it's known as an inside bar candle. Now, that's okay, but we have to wait for a pullback candle to come right after that inside bar candle. And I'll explain that in a short while, okay? So in this case, the moment we've got a swing high, we have a pullback candle. So it's a valid setup. The moment we have got at least one pullback, we can place our buy order a few cents above the high of that pullback candle. About whatever, 3 to 5 cents above the high of this candle. So the next day, if the price exceeds the high of this candle, your buy order will be triggered and you'll be riding the impulse on the way up. Okay, so the next day, as you can see what happens, indeed the price goes above that, it triggers our buy order and we're in the trade and we are moving up as we anticipate, right? So this is an example of the trend being signaled by the 6 crossing above the 18. On this example, you can see that it is the MACD 12, 26, and 9 showing a bullish signal, where the MACD line crosses above the signal line. That is a bullish signal. So again, right at that signal, or right after the signal, we must have that swing high. So this candle is a swing high. Okay. So again, why is it a swing high? Because it's making a higher high than all previous candles. So it is a swing high. What must happen right after the swing high? That's right. Right immediately after the swing high, you need to have a pullback candle. If the next candle doesn't pull back, it makes another high, it's not a valid trade. It is not a valid trade. All right. So in this case, right after the swing high, we've got a pullback candle. Okay. Makes a lower high and a lower low. That's a pullback candle. The moment you've got at least one pullback candle, you can place your buy order, again, a few cents above the high of this candle, okay, and the stop loss just below the low of the candle. So the next day, what happens? Again, the price continues the trend as we anticipate, triggers our buy order, and we're in the trade. All right, so when we go short, in other words, we're shorting on the downtrend, it's the opposite. So for a short entry, we're looking for a downtrend signal. And again, the downtrend signal can come from the 6 EMA crossing below the 18 EMA this time, or the MACD turning bearish. The MACD line crossing below the signal line. So either one of these signals tells us that it's a new downtrend, it's a new impulsive downtrend. So again, right after the downtrend is signaled, we want to see an immediate pullback after the downtrend. Okay? The candle immediately after the indicator signal is known as a swing low candle. So right after the cross, we've got the swing low candle. And right after the swing low candle, the next candle after the swing low candle must make a higher low for it to be a valid pullback. Okay? And that's when we can take a trade to go short on this stock. So let's take a look at ARNC on the left. So for ARNC, the signal comes from the MACD crossing below the signal line, right? The black line crossing below the red line. So that is a downtrend signal. So right at that signal, right at that cross, or right after the cross, we have our swing low candle. Okay, swing low. Now, again, how do you know it's a swing low? Because it makes the lowest low than all previous candles. It must be a lowest low. Okay, right after the swing low, the next candle must have a pullback. Must have a pullback. So pullback means it must make a higher low, and higher high to indicate a pullback. All right. Now, again, what if the next candle doesn't make a higher low? What if it makes a lower low? Then it's not a valid trade. It's not a valid impulse pullback trade. Because remember, for this strategy to be valid, the swing low must appear right after that bearish signal. It cannot come a few candles later, right? So right after the swing low, we have a pullback, right? Higher low and higher high. That's a pullback, okay? Now, the moment we see a pullback, we can place our sell order to enter. We're shorting the stock a few cents below that pullback candle. And our stop loss a few cents above that pullback candle. So the next day, what happens? The price goes lower as we anticipated, triggers our sell order, and boom, we're in the trade going down, ready to take profits. Okay. Now, what if after the swing low candle, the next candle makes a higher low, okay, higher low, but not a higher high? well, that is called an inside bar candle. Okay, and I'll explain that more in a short while. So if you've got an inside bar, you can't place your entry order yet. You have to wait for at least one pullback, minimum one pullback to enter the trade. So a pullback must be a higher high and a higher low to pull back, right? Imagine it's like a gun. You gotta cock the gun before firing, right? You need that cock before firing, right? Okay, so on the right we have got a 6 crossing below 18 EMA, right? So that's the red dotted line crossing below that blue dotted line. That is a bearish signal from our 618. So the moment you see that signal, the next candle has to be the swing low candle, right? Remember, right at that cross, right after cross, you need that swing low candle. Again, how do you know it's a swing low? Because it makes the lowest low from all previous candles. Okay. Now, what happens right after the swing low? The next candle must make a, that's right, higher low and higher high to be a pullback. Now, in this case, this candle appears. Okay. So this candle makes a higher low, but not a higher high, right? So we call this an inside bar candle. Now, why is it called an inside bar? Because this candle, okay, is inside this candle. Okay, it's kind of like this is the mother and that's the baby. It is, this entire candle is contained within the range of this candle. That's known as an inside bar. Now, when you have an inside bar, you can't take the trade yet. You have to wait for at least a pullback. So again, how do you define a pullback? Higher high and higher low relative to the previous candle. So this is not a pullback, it's an inside bar. Okay, so we cannot take the trade yet when we see this candle. Now the next candle that appears makes a higher high and a higher low. Okay, so this candle makes a higher high and higher low relative to this candle. So we call this our first pullback candle. So once you've got at least one pullback candle, you can place your entry order. And we'll place our entry order a few cents below the low of this candle. By the way, we call this the trigger candle, all right? The trigger candle. And we put our stop loss just above the high of that trigger candle. The next day, what happens? Sure enough, the price goes down, continuing the trend as we anticipate, triggers our sell order where we sell and we write the trend down. All right? So that's how it works. All right, so let's get a better understanding about the price action that we need to see for it to be a valid trade. So again, what we want to see is on the left would be a long setup. Okay, so once again, this candle is the swing high candle. Okay, so the swing high candle must appear right after or right at that crossover signal, right? Either from the MACD or the 6 crossing above the 18, right? So right at that cross, we have that swing high. Okay, that's the swing high. Now, what happens right after the swing high? We gotta have the next candle rather has to make a lower high. Okay, so in this case, if it makes a lower high and a lower low, it's a pullback candle, right? That's great. So once we have a pullback candle, what we do? That's why we'll place our buy order a few cents above the high of that candle. Okay. So the next day, if the price continues the trend, we get triggered and we're in the trade. Now, what happens if on the next day, the next candle, we get another pullback, which means another lower high and lower low? Well, then this buy order that we place will not get triggered, right? Because it's a buy stop limit order. It will only be triggered if the price goes above the high of this candle. So this order will not be triggered. What we do, we will cancel this order and place a new order above the high of the next pullback candle, like in this case. Okay, so now my buy stop limit order is a few cents above that. My stop loss is over here. Now the next day, if the price goes above that high, we get triggered, we buy and we write the trend up. Now what if the next day we get another pullback candle, right? One more pullback candle making another lower high and another lower low. Well, then it is invalidated. Why? Because here's the rule. The rule for pullbacks is that we can have no more than 2 lower lows for a long position. Or rather, no more than 2 pullbacks for a long position. Okay, so if we get another pullback, then we cancel the order and we don't take a trade. You understand? Great. Now, what if after this swing high, okay, well, let me draw it again so it is clearer. So what if we have got, again, a swing high candle over here? We've got a crossover. So that's a bullish signal. We've got our swing high over here, swing high, like so, right? So these are candles before that. Okay. What if we get something like this? After the swing high, we have a candle that makes a lower high, but doesn't make a lower low. So it makes a lower high and a higher low. What's that called? That's called an inside bar. Remember that? Inside bar, IB, inside bar candle. So if we get an inside bar candle, can we place our buy order? No, we can't. Because you need a minimum of 1 pullback candle and a maximum of 2 pullback candles. You can have as many inside bars as you want to, but you must have a minimum of 1 pullback and 2 pullbacks. So in other words, we can't take this trade yet. We have to wait for a pullback candle. Now, the next day, what if we get a pullback like so? So this is a pullback candle because it makes a lower high and a lower low relative to this candle. Okay, so we're no longer taking the relative context from the swing high. We always take the relative context from the previous candle, right? So this candle is a pullback candle. Okay, so can we take the trade now? Yes, we can, because we have at least 1 pullback candle. So we'll place our buy order over here, right above the high of this candle, and our stop loss over here. Okay, so the next day, if the price goes up, it will trigger our buy order and hopefully we ride the trend up. Now, what if on the next day we get something like that? Lower high and higher low. Well, that's another inside bar candle, right? So in this case, we have got 1 inside bar, 1 pullback, and 1 inside bar. So what we do now is we will shift our buy order to above the high of that inside bar. Okay, so we are always walking down the buy orders. All right, we always place our buy order right above the most recent pullback or inside bar. So if this doesn't get triggered, we get another lower high. We shift our buy order to the high of that candle. Okay, now the next day, say it goes lower again, like that. So what do we have now? We have got, after the swing high, we have got an inside bar, pullback, inside bar, and another pullback. Are we still valid? Yes, we are, because we're at 2 pullbacks and 2 inside bars. Now, inside bars are like jokers. You can have as many inside bars as you want to, but you can only have 2 pullbacks, all right? So we are still valid. What we do now? We now cancel this buy order and place the buy order right above the high of the latest pullback. All right. So the next day, if the price after this temporary pullback of profit taking, if the price continues the uptrend, it triggers our buy order and we're in the trade. That's fine. Now, again, what if on the next day the price makes another pullback? Well, then it's not valid, right? Because no more than 2 pullbacks. That's the rule, right? Hope that makes it clearer. We'll look at a lot more examples as we go along, okay? So again, take note, maximum 2 pullbacks and as many inside bars as you can eat, all right? Okay. So on the left, that's for a long setup. We're going long, right? Impulse, pullback, continue, right? On the right is a short setup. So in a short setup, we're looking for an impulse down, pullback, continue. So we're going to go short at the pullback. Okay. So in this case, you can see this is a swing low candle. Now, so let's assume that we have a cross somewhere here, right? So the 6 EMA crosses below the 18 EMA, or the MACD line crosses below the signal line. So we've got some kind of bearish signal. So right after the bearish signal, we have got a swing low candle. Okay? What happens right after the swing low candle? The next candle must make a higher low. So we've got a higher low and a higher high. That's a pullback, right? Profit taking. After short sellers short it, they take profits, right? Or think of a gun, you gotta cock the gun, right? Cock the gun up, right? So when we've got one pullback, can we take the trade? Yes, we can. So we place our sell order, all right? Sell stop limit order a few cents below the low of this candle, like 3 or 5 cents, right? So that's our sell order. And our stop loss would be over here. The next day, if the price indeed, after pulling back once, goes down and continues the trend, it will trigger our sell order and we'll be short in this trade. Okay? So in this case, what happened? In this case, after this pullback, we had another pullback, right? So the next candle makes a higher low and a higher high. So does it trigger the sell order we placed here? No, it doesn't. So what we do, we have to cancel this sell order, cancel that stop loss, and now we place our new sell order below the low of the new pullback candle. Okay, and our stop loss is over here. The next day, if the price goes down, triggers our sell order, we're in the trade. Beautiful. What if on the next day we have another pullback candle? Like so. Another higher high, higher low. What happens? That's right, the trade is invalidated because, again, maximum of 2 pullbacks. More than 2 pullbacks, we cancel the trade. We look for another trade, right? Okay, so I hope that's a lot clearer for you guys. Now, again, what happens if after the swing low candle, okay, we get an inside bar? We get this candle here, right? So it makes a higher low, but a lower high. So it's an inside bar. Can we take the trade? No, we can't because we need at least one pullback, right? An inside bar is not enough. So right after this inside bar, we need a pullback, like so. Higher high, higher low and higher high. Then we can place our sell order right below that pullback candle and our stop loss over there. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at some more examples. All right, so let's take a look at some more examples here. So again, let me just define an inside bar more formally, right? So an inside bar or a candle, now when I use the word bar, I refer to candle, okay, same thing, right? So an inside bar or candle is one where the high of the candle is below the previous candle's high, and the low of the candle is above the previous candle's low, okay? So again, in this case, you see that that's a swing high. Presumably there's a bullish signal over here, the swing high, and we've got an inside bar. So again, it makes a lower high, but a higher low. So it's an inside bar. This candle is inside this candle. Think of it as this is the mother with the baby, right? This inside bar. So again, when you have an inside bar, you cannot take the trade yet. You have to wait for a pullback, all right? That's the rule. Over here, you can see it's a swing low. Again, we've got some kind of bearish signal. Swing low, inside bar. Can't take the trade yet, wait for pullback, okay? In this case, you can see 2 inside bars, right? So again, you've got a bullish cross, swing high, inside bar, wait for pullback, okay? All right, so over here you can see, again, a bullish crossover, swing high right at or right after the bullish crossover, we've got a pullback candle. Can we take the trade? Yes, we can. So we can buy order over there, stop loss over here. Next day, price goes up above the high, we get triggered, we're in the trade. We call this a 1 bar pullback, right? In this case, we've got a bearish signal cross, swing low candle, 1 pullback. Can we take the trade? Yes, we can. Sell order over there, stop loss over here. Next day goes below, triggers, and we're in the trade. So both of these are one candle pullbacks. This is a two candle pullback, right? So again, we've got a bullish cross, we've got a swing high, we have got the first pullback. Now again, the moment you see a first pullback, you can place your buy order right there, a few cents above the high, stop loss over there. The next day, if another pullback appears, what happens? Your buy order is not triggered. Okay, so what do? You cancel your order. And now you place a new order at the high of this pullback candle. And stop loss over here. So as you get more and more pullbacks or more and more inside bars, you keep moving your buy order down for longs, all right? But again, no more than two pullbacks. You can have many inside bars, but only two pullbacks. That's the rule. So let's take a look at some stocks with these patterns. Over here is Jazz Pharmaceuticals. Now you can see the 6 EMA crossing above the 18 EMA. That is a bullish signal. Right after the signal, we have a swing high. So that's our swing high over there. The next day, what must happen? That's right. The next day, we gotta have an inside bar or a pullback. If the next day we get a candle making a higher high than this candle, trade is not valid. Move on to another trade. Okay? So the swing high has to be the one right after that crossover. No more than that. Okay? So in this case, we've got a swing high candle. The next candle makes a lower high and a lower low. It's a pullback. All right? So again, we cock the gun. So can we take a trade? Yes, we can. So our buy order will be a few cents above the high of this candle. Our stop loss will be a few cents below the low of this candle. The next day, what happens? That's right. Price makes a higher high. Boom. We get triggered. We are in the trade. We've bought it. Stop loss is here. And boom, the price goes up, hits our target price. Here's an example of a two candle pullback. Again, we've got a 6 crossing above the 18. That's a bullish signal. Right after that signal, we've got a swing high. That's your swing high. Right after the swing high, we have got a pullback, right? Lower high, lower low. And the best kind of pullbacks are the ones that rest on the moving average. Those are the best ones because it shows it's got a level of support, right? So this pullback, you can see, is being supported by the 6 EMA. That is beautiful. Love that, right? So our buy order will be where? That's right above the high of this candle. That's our buy order. Buy stop limit order. Okay, a few cents above the high of the candle. Stop loss would be somewhere over here. So what happens the next day? The next day, the price does not continue the trend. It makes another pullback, right? So cock again, right? So another lower high, another lower low. What happens? We cancel our order. And now we place a new buy order above the high of that pullback candle. Stop loss is now over there. Okay, so again, you keep lowering your buy orders to the most recent inside bar or pullback candle till it gets triggered. The next day, price goes up above that high. It's triggered. We buy over here. Stop loss is over here, and we are in the trade, riding it up. Okay, here's a short example. This is a MACD. MACD crossing below the signal line, so that is a bearish signal. So right after the bearish signal, we have got our swing low candle, right? Why is it a swing low? Because it makes the lowest low, okay? Right after the swing low, we have got a pullback, right? Higher high, sorry, wrong. Higher low and higher high. That's a pullback. Can we take the trade? Yes, we've got a pullback. So our sell order will be right there, a few cents below the low of the candle. Our stop loss will be right over there. Next day, it goes below that low, triggers our sell order. We've sold the stock here, stop loss there, and we take a trade down. Okay, so here's another variation, right? We've got some kind of bullish cross. We've got a swing high, inside bar, all right? So inside bar, can we take the trade? No, we can't. Wait for a pullback. Yes, we put a buy order here, stop loss over here. Next day, another pullback, cancel our buy order. place a new buy order over here, stop loss over here. Next day, price goes above the high, triggers, and we're in the trade. So this is a case of a one inside buy and two pullbacks. This is a case of, again, we have got a bearish cross, we have got a swing low candle, this is our swing low. Right after the swing low, we've got an inside bar. Can we take the trade? No, we can't. Wait for a pullback. After inside bar, we get a pullback. We can place our sell order there, stop loss over here. So again, this will be our sell stop limit order. That's our buy stop order to stop loss. Next day, price goes below the low of that candle, triggers our sell order, and we're in the trade, shorting the stock. Okay, so let's look at beta, where this pattern emerged. All right, so there we have it. We've got the MACD crossing below the signal line. Okay, yeah, ideally the MACD should be 12, 26, and 9. So this is not the ideal setting. All right, so use 12, 26, and 9. Okay, so right at the bearish signal, we've got our swing low candle. There we go, swing low candle. Right after that, what is this called? Inside bar. Can we take the trade yet? No, we can't. We need at least one pullback, right? Okay, so right after that inside bar, we have a pullback, making a higher high, higher low. Okay, can we take the trade? Yes, we can. We place our sell order over here, right below the low of that candle. Okay, that's a sell stop limit order. Our stop loss is over there. The next day, does the price go down? No, it makes a higher high, higher low, lower high. So it makes an inside bar now, right? So we've got an inside bar, pullback, inside bar. Where do we put our order? First, we cancel this order, and we raise our sell order to just below the low of that inside bar. And we can keep our stop loss there. Next day, price, after retracing, after profit taking, price goes down, triggers the sell order, and continues the downtrend. Okay. Here's another example of a swing high. So we've got some kind of bullish cross, swing high, pullback. All right, so put a buy order there. Next day, doesn't get triggered, cancel that buy orders over there. Next day, doesn't get triggered. We've got an inside bar now. Cancel that order, place the buy order over here. Now, you can put a stop loss over here. So the stop loss should be at the lowest pullback. Next day, price goes up above the high of this inside bar candle, and we're in the trade. Okay. Here's a bearish cross. We've got a swing low, and a pullback. Right, so where's our sell order? That's right over there, stop loss over here. Next day, we've got an inside bar. All right, so we cancel that buy order, new buy order over there, stop loss at the highest point of the retracement. Next day goes down, triggers, and we're in the trade. All right, so hope you're familiar with these patterns now, what we're looking for. Okay, so now that you understand the price action patterns we're looking for, we're going to dive into the specific entry rules and exit rules. But before that, let's look at how to set up the charts for this particular strategy. Okay, so for the charts, we are going to put in the following indicators. First of all, the 6 and 18 exponential moving average, the 50, 100, and 200 exponential moving average, Bollinger Bands, MACD 12, 26, and 9, and Stochastics 5, 3, 3. So let me show you how to set up the charts right now. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I set up my charts for the impulse pullback strategy. And again, you can use any kind of charting software. They have the same studies or indicators, and they work pretty much the same way. So I'm using TC2000, which is a subscription software. And what I'll do is I'll put in the following indicators, right? First, I'll put in my moving averages. So I'm going to go to plus, add my indicators. So first I'm going to add my moving averages, right? Exponential moving averages, click on that. Add the moving average to the stock in question, so click on that. By default, they give me the 50 EMA, all right? So it is blue, great. So I've got the first moving average. I just add in more, click again, go to moving average, exponential, add it there. That's another one. And I will change the settings in a while. I'm just going to put in all the moving averages. Again, moving average. Add to stock. It's got 3 now. I need, how many do I need? 5, yeah, 5. Average. Add to that. Moving average. Add to stock. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. So, all right, so I've got the 50. Next one would be the 100. So I'm going to click edit. 100 moving average. I can use orange. Next one is my 200, which I'll use red. Color red. Okay. So I've got my 50, 100, and 200 moving averages. These are the longer term moving averages. Now I'm going to put my 6 and 18. This is for my crossover signal, right? So I'm going to edit it to 6 EMA. Red dotted line. Red dotted line. And 18 would be my blue dotted line. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so this is my 6 and 18 EMA, which will help me to determine the bullish signal, all right? And we're going to put a 50, 100, and 200 moving average to tell us where the bigger trend is, or where the bigger trend lies, okay? Next, I'm going to put in Bollinger Bands. All right, so I'm going to click Add Plot to Chart. Bollinger Bands. There. Oops, that's the wrong one. Bollinger Bands is the one. Add Bollinger Bands to the stock. There we go. So again, you've learned that the Bollinger Bands act as resistance and support levels and tell you when it is overbought or oversold, right? So that helps us as well. I'm going to leave it there. Next, I'm going to put in the MACD. So add MACD indicator. Again, you could choose the histogram if you wanted to. It's a matter of preference. I'm going to choose indicator. And it's 12, 26, and 9 by default, right? So just leave it there. If your charting software is not 12, 26, and 9 by default, you have to change it, right, to 12, 26, and 9. I want to change the color though, so I'm going to click on this, edit, and black. So I want the MACD line to be black, okay? And the 9 EMA, I like it to be red. There we go. So the black line represents the MACD line and the red line is the 9 signal line. Okay, so when the black line is above the red line, it indicates a bullish signal. Black line crossing below red line, bearish signal, right? So 12, 26, and 9. Next, I'll put in my stochastics to measure, again, overbought and oversold signals. Last, stochastics indicator. In certain software, it is called full stochastics, right? Full stochastics. Okay, so I'm going to change that to 5, 3, and I'm changing to exponential, right? Exponential. 5, period 5, percentage K3, and percentage D, I will change it to 3 as well. There we go, right? So it's 5, percentage K3, percentage D3, okay? So once you've got that, you can save it, right? So you can right click, save my chart as impulse pullback. Okay. By the way, my nickname for this strategy is called the Piranha strategy, right? Which is actually the name of my website, right? But you know, it's because it's the first strategy I ever used, right? So I call it my Piranha strategy. So when you hear the word Piranha or impulse pullback, it's the same thing, right? So you can call it Piranha, impulse pullback, whatever it is, and you can just save it. Right? Yes. Okay, there you go. So the next time we are looking for this setup, we go to charts and choose impulse pullback. Where is it? There, right? And you'll bring out that specific chart. So remember that for every strategy that you're going to learn, it has got a specific set of indicators to use to identify it, right? So that's how we set up charts for the impulse pullback.